Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I had all my stuff ready for tonight and I couldn't find it on my table. But here we are, we're here and we're ready to go. So I'm just going to share this over on my Facebook page. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. So, last week I got so many lovely comments on the cards that I had created with the Rolling Waves stamp set. So this is the one we did last week. And at my classes. So I thought we'll keep that theme going and keep the using the scraps theme going. And we'll play with that stamp set again. Because it's such a cool stamp set. And I don't know if you know this about me, but when I get a stamp set, I have to make 10 things with it, right? So we're up to 3 so far, and that's quite all right. Just trying to make sure that everything's working right. Oh, excuse me. Now, oops, I messed up the description. All right. Now, so if you're watching, make sure you say hello. I'm a little bit late tonight because I am, as I said, I was trying to find my bits and pieces on the table. The craft room is progressing a bit slower than we planned, but that's okay. It's going to be awesome. I've got my first lot of shelves up, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. I'll just move that out the way. I probably need a bit of scratch paper. We're going to use what was originally my plan for my craft room. Okay, grid paper is so great for doing plans. Okay, so I'm hoping there's a few people watching. If you're watching, make sure you say hello. It says that I've got people watching. All right, who do we have? Oh, hi, Glenda. I knew you'd be watching. I'm so glad. I worry when you don't watch. All right, so tonight we're going to grab our scraps again from the other class. So I've got a little box with my scraps in it. So we've got some die cut pieces and we've got, I've even bought some dies upstairs. Don't know whether we'll be using those. Now, a few people asked me, how can I use the Rolling Waves stamp set with pattern paper that's not sea themed? So that's what we're going to look at tonight. And we're going to do a bit of a fancy fold. So I've got some, I'll just use that. Need a bit of blue. I don't know which of those we'll use, but we'll take both of them. We'll take, and then I've got a bit of this here as well on a card base. Another piece of that. Oh, yeah. So we got some bits, and we got all these die cut bits. So we'll put them out the way. So let's have a. No, not yet. Half of the shelves went up today, Glenda. Am I in my craft room yet? Half of them went up. We had to change a few things around of how it was going to be done, and so that added time. But Steve's plodding a lot away, but he's working full time, mind you. So he's doing a great job. And I'm very grateful for him. All right. So let's have a look at some paper that we're going to use tonight. Now this was an online exclusive and it is called the Splash of Sparkles paper. And like I've already made a slimline card with it because isn't that just gorgeous paper? It's just beautiful. Anyway, we are going to use, oh look, I've got a card half made, but we're not going to use those tonight. We are going to use this piece. And we might even use this dotty piece as well. We'll just see how we go. Or, yeah. And so these are lovely. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to use, oh, you might use that piece on the, oh. I've just rethought what I was going to do. So I had in my head all afternoon what I was going to do, and I've just rethought it. So these are, these papers are still available. And look at it, it's so pretty. So pretty. It's gold foil. So there's, let me move that out of the way. So you've got silver foil, you've got gold foil. Oh, you've got pretty colours as well. Anyway, so I'm going to use this paper. I think this is gorgeous. And that will go with some of the things we've already got die cut. So let's get started with that. So what I want to do is at the 6-inch mark, I'm just going to score it at, yeah, I'm just going to score it at the 6-inch mark. Okay. Then, so this is 12 inches wide at the moment. It won't stay 12 inches wide. Okay, so at the 6-inch mark, I've scored it. I'm just going to score again just to, I don't know that I have that exactly straight. Then I'm going to move it up to the 6.5-inch mark. And I am going to cut that little bit off the bottom, right? So we're going to set that aside. Now, then I've turned it 90 degrees and I'm going to score it at about 4.25 centimetres, no, 11 centimetres, which is around about 4 3/8. Okay? Yeah, hopefully tonight is the last night that we film in here. Hopefully I'm going to film in my craft room next week. That's my plan. Wouldn't that be a great birthday present to get out to film in my craft room? All right, then I'm going to move this over and move the score line onto my 5 3/8, or if you're working in centimetres, 11, around about 11 centimetres. It's just got to be more than 10.5 centimetres. And I'm going to score there as well. Okay. And then, I'll just fold that. Then I'm going to move that so the edge of my paper is at the 9.25 centimetres. And we're just going to cut that bit off, okay? So this is going to be sort of like a self-contained envelope. And did I cut that wrong? I did. So we're not going to worry about that I cut it wrong, because I scored it wrong. I didn't cut it wrong. Well, that should have been right. I'm just going to score it a little bit better. So I'm going to score it at the 8 3/4 inches, all right? So you're not going to see this bit anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're just going to fold that. So today I had a beautiful visit from my best friend, and she's been friends with me since we job shared when my daughter was 2. So that is a very, very long time. And she spent the day with me, helping me do some things. And so it was really, really lovely. And yeah, she's recently retired, so that's so good. We'll get to do stuff together during the week when we should really be working. So who else have we got watching? I got someone else watching. Who is that? That's probably Megan, who's not chatting. So how are you, Glenda? This might be a private class for you today. Yeah, maybe. All right. Now, because I'm moving stuff from my the study down to my my craft room as well. So, like, I've been putting together flat packs and all sorts of things. I'm so glad you're good. All right. So this is like a little, going to be like a little envelope-y thing. So we're just going to grab our bone folder. And just make sure that they're nicely folded, and then we'll just fold up the bottom edge. Just burnish that edge as well. So my craft room, my old craft room, is split between the upstairs study, the dining room, the family room, and the craft room. Oh, and the entry of the house as well, because, you know, yeah, so it's a bit hard to find any. Oh, and there's stuff outside too. So, yeah, a bit hard to find anything at the moment. So hopefully by Friday, when we have Craft and Chat, we will have things in a better place. So what I've done here, I've just what do they call it? Mitered the edges, so they're on an angle. So that's just going to fold up like that, and that piece will fold over like that. All right. So the easiest way to do this is to get a bit of tape, right? And we're just going to pop this tape on, but we're not going to take the backing completely off yet. Okay. And so this is good old Terran tape. And it's just the right width. Now I'm putting 2 layers on, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want it to be very, very, I don't want any gaps or anything. And it just tears off, so it's fine. Okay, so we're doing a pocket card. So this has an envelope, so it's a bit of a fancy fold, and it's a really good way when you have lots of 12 by 12 paper to get rid of some of it. okay, or use it, okay, because we all have all that beautiful paper that we need to use and let it bring joy to people. So what I'm going to do here with the edges of the bottom end of my tear and tape, I am just going to fold it over so that I've got a little bit that I'll be able to grab, okay? Now, this helps you if you have difficulty getting things lined up, all right? And you'll see what I mean in just a moment. Now, the other thing you need to do with your tear and tape is get your bone folder and just run it over your tear and tape. So you're just gonna, or burnish it, and what that does is makes it stick to the bottom paper. All right, so we're gonna fold this up, right? We want to move that down a bit so you can see those little tags hanging out there. Get your bone folder and make sure that that bottom one is snug there and it's nice and flat, and then you just peel it like that. All right, that one's, some of it came off, so that's all right. And so when you peel it like that, you don't, it just makes it easier. All right, so we've got a little pocket. Now, we want to put a little, I would normally use a punch. And this is too wide, or I would normally use a die cut. Now this is too wide for my mini cutting machine. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tear and tape. So I want to measure that. I'll just bring it down here a bit. I've measured it on my grid paper. So you just need to ignore that plan there. And I want to sort of just with my pencil, sort of, if I have a pencil. I'd have to use a pen. Not going to matter. See if this one works. Hold that down. And I'm just going to draw a little circle. And that pen didn't work. Oh, you would think a Stampin' Up pen would work. What's this one? Oh, this is where it works. Need to line it all up again. Alright. I just want to have just a little circle. So this is, it's a cheats way if you don't have a chance to draw, to get out your cutting machine, or you don't have a punch on hand. So you could be at a retreat and you want to use you want to cut a little hole out. So then you can just get your scissors and just cut it. All right. And we forget that we can do these things. This is a great invention, you know. And it doesn't matter if you're not the best at using your scissors, right? It's just a little hole, right? Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to decorate the front of our card. And I've got this piece here. I want to bring in my little die cutting machine. And I'm thinking that, now we're winging it, so bear with me. I'm thinking that we need to do some sort of a rectangle. I could use like an arches thing, but I want to do a rectangle and I'm going to use the textured notes dies. Now if they haven't already sold out, they're retiring at the end of this catalogue. Oh, that's just a bit small. So I've got a piece of basic white and I'm just going to cut that. Alright, now this has got a beautiful little pattern on it. So, how are we going? Oh, we've got a few more people watching. Make sure you say hello if you're watching, so I can chat to you as well. Because I seem to not be able to see everybody. Okay, so we're using a white, then we'll use a clear. Just going to grab this here. Steve will be so happy when he's not sharing a space with me because it always gets so messy. And then I'm just going to pop this clear one on top. Now, the cardstock is a little bit wider, but I'm okay with that. Okay, oh, we've got 7 people watching tonight. Thanks for watching, wherever you're from. Okay, so we're going to do that one. We'll do another one of those for the inside. I have another scrap. I do have another scrap. Again, we're using the same textured notes die. I am going to miss these when they finally do retire. I did notice that the stamp sets that coordinate with the Everyday Archers dies seem to be on the last chance list as well. Okay. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow's the start of the month, so there's a brand new product of the month coming tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Friday, sorry. Brand new product of the month coming on Friday. And then next week, the new catalogue goes live to everyone. And I've heard from a few people that they have received their new catalogue in the mail. So that's good news. I'm pleased about that. Now I'm going to cut another piece of cardstock. I don't put my bit of scrap. I've got bits everywhere, haven't I? All right. And I'm going to cut a blue and a white piece, a balmy blue. It is balmy blue, isn't it? I was going to say it was something else, bashful blue, but it is balmy blue, I'm sure. So we're going to cut a balmy blue. So this is something a little bit extra that we didn't have last week in our stash. And then we're going to cut a little piece of white. Now I'm not sure what sort of white, what size white I'm going to need. So I'm just going to cut 3 bits out of the one piece, or 2 bits out of the one piece, and hope that they are the right size. Alright. For a sentiment of some description. Okay, so as I said, we're really winging it tonight. But we're using scraps left over from my class 2 weeks ago. Plus, we're combining a stamp set with an unlikely pattern paper. Alright? Okay. So, we've got those cut. When my friend came to visit me today, she told me that my family room was like an episode of Space Invaders, you know, where they get all of the they go into people's houses who collect lots of stuff and they lay it all out on the floor in a hall somewhere. And she told me my dining room and my family room looked like that. I don't know whether I should be offended or not. She meant it in a good way though. It was a bit funny. I guess that when you're friends for as long as we've been friends, she can say whatever she likes, really. I'm not going to be too offended. All right. So what's the weather like up there, Glenda? Is it nice and cooling down a little bit? I know it's never really cool, but it's been quite cool here. All right, I'm just going to put these textured notes, guys, away because I don't want to lose them. I'm in my scrap box. Now, we want to do the card for the inside. So, we want to finish the outside first. So, I have got this beautiful piece here, right? So, I'm thinking we need to have both the silver and the gold. All right, so we're just going to cut a little bit off and make it like a belly band. So maybe just 1.5 inches wide, and I want to keep this silver bit. That's the bit that I'm aiming for. Let's grab my paper trimmer, wherever that's disappeared to. Here it is. Oh, it'll be so good for everybody when I finally have my head in order. So I'm thinking 1.5 inches. 2 inches would be too big. All right. And this is sort of going to be like a faux belly band. Okay. I don't know if I even cut that in front of the camera. And I want to have it. So I want to keep this on the front. This silver bit. I'm thinking it's going to need a bit of blue behind it to... We're not actually going to make it go all the way around. So what we're going to do is... Oh, you can hear my dog. She's got a cough. I reckon they should have Medicare for dogs, really. We took it to the vet on Friday and she had to have a blood test. And it cost like $400. I was flabbergasted. Yeah. Well, it's getting cooler at night. That's really good. Like it when it's a bit cooler. Alright, so I'm just going to cut that so that it's going to be the same width as this one. Alright, so I'm going to cut it about there. And we want to have, so I think it needs some blue behind it, right? So try not to waste too much. So cut this one to the same length. So this is 4 3/4. Let's just cut this one at 4 3/4. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut this tiny little bit of pink off. Now, you'll see how this is going to come together very, very shortly. She doesn't have kennel cough, no. She has fluid in her lungs. She had, ages ago, she had a bacterial infection, but this fluid is from her her kidneys and her heart murmur. So yeah, she's doing okay though. She's happy enough. She just coughs and it sounds dreadful and it sounds like we aren't looking after her, but thousands of dollars later we definitely are. Okay, so I've got these two pieces here. I'm going to use my tear and tape again. Oh no, we'll just use a bit of glue. And I'm going to just pop some glue on the back of this pink piece, and that's not the right glue. Let's try a newer one. Let's pop a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to pop this one, so it's about 1/4 inch. Well, not even that. I just want to have, just to be able to see it. Right, and then we'll pop this one here. Then that blue just gives a bit of a contrast so it doesn't get lost in the background. Right. So this is a good way to use up your scraps as well. And because it's glue, you can sort of still adjust it a little bit. It's not very straight. This is really where you should use your grid paper, but I'm eyeballing it tonight. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's 15 this birthday, so she is. She's doing okay, and the good news was after the blood test on Friday, we discovered that she'd lost weight, which was fantastic, and her kidney function had improved, so that was really, really good. So we were really pleased with that. It was a great result there. So we've got this here. Pop it down a bit lower like that. So we wanted to have some gold and some silver on here. Now try not to get glue on the front. And I'm just going to trim that off. I don't want to fold it round. I just want to trim it. I've got my camera in a different spot and I need to move it closer towards me, I think. Because I'm having difficulty working out where the camera is. There we go. We're in the middle now, I think. Alright, I'll just move this down a little bit. That might be a bit better. There we go, that might be a bit better. Alright, so we've got this bit here. It's got a bit of glue on the front, and because it's foil, we can just grab a baby wipe and just wipe it off the foil. Okay. And it will take some of the colour out, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to be covering that up. Alright, so this is... that's a bit crooked. Pretend it's not crooked, okay? Just pretend it's not crooked. Now, we want to put something on the front of our card. And we've die cut our pieces. So, I want to put sort of like a beachy theme on there. I didn't even bring the right inks up here. I don't know. I thought that I had grabbed the right inks and I didn't bring them. Anyway, so we want to put some Azure Afternoon. I thought I had bought the Balmy Blue up, but obviously I didn't. Now I still have my, I haven't even taken my stuff off the precision plate or whatever you call it from last week. So we're going to let's take all these bits off because we're going to use this. And we'll grab the precision plate, or sorry, the stamping platform. Now I want to put, wish I could find the other magnet. It'll turn up, I'm sure. Okay. If you cut your glue in half and use the brush, you can get more out of it. Yes, I did know that. And you can also, Glenda, cut your glue in half when you've got hardly any left and dilute it with some water and put it in a spray bottle, and then you have a spray glue. And that is pretty fun to play with. Alright, so we've got this platform here. I'm just going to pop that on like that. I'm not worried that it's going to move. I'll just move this across a bit. I have to find my other magnet at some point. So I'm just putting that down the bottom. And then I want to move it. I want to move this piece down, probably about 1/2 inch. Now I'm not going to re-ink my stamp, but I'm just going to stamp it right where it was before. And it's just going to give me a bit of a lighter background, and it's going to be very, very light. And I'm going to grab my other piece, which is a longer piece. Again, my other stamp. And I want to stamp that. So it's sort of overlapping. Sort of. I reckon about there might be, I'll move that down. About there might be good. Now that you can play with this however you want. As I said, I'm just using leftovers from my class. Yeah. And Glenda, you can get little spatula-y things for your glue and for your, well, they're meant for makeup bottles, but you can get them for, you use them for your glue and you can scrape out all that excess glue. Oh, I quite like that. Now it had a little bit that didn't quite ink up, so I'm just going to ink it again. Now it has a little bit of give, but I'm okay with that little bit of give. And I quite like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another bit, a bit lower. I need to move this back up to where I had it before, because I want it to be right on the bottom edge. Move that up even more. Yeah. That was a really cool tip. I always forget to do that, Glenda. I'm usually rushing. So I've got like probably a dozen almost empty glue bottles, and I need to dig out the excess glue out of them. So I'm going to do one more, and I'm not re-inking this one. Just going to do it across the centre, or maybe I do need to re-ink it. I'm going to re-ink it, but I'm going to just get my other stamp, and I'm just going to pat the other stamp on there, because I just want to take a little bit of the excess ink off. I don't want it quite so dark. And I did that like that because I don't have a post-it note. So there we go. So we've got 3 different layers of blue. Let's just wipe that off. All right, now we want to do some sort of sand bits. I thought I'd lost the sand, but I found that. And I'm just going to use my block. And we're going to make it pink sand. I know that sounds bizarre, but it's going to be fine. So just stamp it off, and I'm just going to do some random pink sand. Now it's barely, will barely be able to see it. It's a bit like that pink lake, you know, in West Australia. No, is it West Australia, South Australia? I can never remember. So we've got that pinky colour there. Now, we're going to start building our pattern. Now I've got some retired gold, so we're going to use that. We've got some little die cut shells. And our little leaves. Now last week we did our leaves were pink, and we're still going to do them pink. We also need our foam. All right. Now While I've still got my Azure Afternoon open, I'm just going to grab this and just very lightly ink it. I don't want it too heavy. It's going to barely show. Hey, Jody. Ah. You're watching while you're away, so you're multitasking. Good to hear. All good women can multitask. Whether we do it effectively, that's a whole other thing, but yeah. My husband reckons that I have 10 conversations going on in my head at the same time with 10 different people. So I'm always multitasking. All right, so we're going to line this piece up with our, oh, we also have a wider piece as well. I'm going to use some wider piece as well. And while we've got this out, we'll just quickly do this. And what I might do is I might actually stamp it with the Azure Afternoon again. Because the pattern does sort of line up, I think. Let me just see. Where does the pattern line up? Might not. Or does it line up with the little one? I don't know. Might line up with the little one. Sorta. No. No. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna get this Azure Afternoon and we're gonna do it quite heavily for this one. And I'm not worried that I'm leaving blotches because it's going to be covered up. Ideally, you do this with a sponge dauber and you want the different colours, alright? Because it's going to go around about there. Okay, and then this one will go around about there. And so it's going to have those different colours on there. Or you could just do this one around about here. What do you reckon? Do we need both? Do we need both? I don't think we need both. I think that, yes, it is still available, Jodie. It's called now what did I call it? I was gifted half a pack and I wanted to save it and then I went, that's just dumb. It's called a Splash of Sparkles. And it was an online exclusive and it's still available as far as I know. No, you reckon just the top one? I agree. No, I haven't punched out all the little bits out of this one. I'm just going to ink it up here, glue it up here because I don't want my paper to be all gluey. And as I said earlier in the video, I'm working between I've got stuff between 4 different rooms, and I don't know that I know where anything is anymore. Okay, now I've got my... Oh, where did that go? Got my baby wipe. I'll just dab off that excess glue. All right, we'll use this one on the inside. Oakley. All right. So this is a little bit of a complicated card. So this is for the front. And so we're picking up that blue there. We're adding a bit of the... We're having some silver and some gold. We're going to just trim off these wild end bits or side bits. The other thing I did today, which was really exciting, well, for me it is, my ex-sister-in-law, so she was married to my ex-husband's brother, we had a really great Zoom call this morning. And she's an artist, and she's just delightful, and she lives in the other side of the world, so in New Hampshire. So Camille, if you're watching a replay, hello. And it was just awesome, and it's just so lovely when you see a friendship that was developed because she moved to Australia and didn't know anyone, and I was it, to lasting 30-something years. It's about 31 years. And so it was just really delightful to talk to her today as well. So I'm just inking these up with a little bit of bubble bath ink. Just dipping them in. So you might have gathered I really love direct to paper inking, because it saves a little bit of time. All right. So just I'm not close to my husband's family, Glenna, not at all. I would like to be, but it's quite. I'm close to still am in contact with his nieces, but I'm not close to his family. Hey, yeah, Megan, well, I knew you would comment that I just like making a mess. Knew. All right, we're gonna just wipe off this ink, and I've got some gorgeous grape ink. So I'm gonna just pop a little bit of gorgeous grape in the middle of this flower, because I don't want this one to be too heavy. So gorgeous grape goes beautifully with bubble bath. All right, and you might not think that, but it really does. And I'm just trying to be very gentle with, and you'll see I'm not putting it down flat. I'm just using the top edge to sort of have a bit more control over it. Okay. I wondered if you were watching, Megan. Oh, Megan, I meant to tell you, Chip's got a brother now. So my niece's dog, Chip, and if you go on Instagram and look up Chip Duff's Adventures, you'll see Chip is a beautiful long-haired dachshund. And he has a beautiful brother now. And his brother's name is Goose. And he's a long-haired dachshund too. And he's a rescue puppy and he's so beautiful. And he's settling in well, so... Oh, maybe next week, Megan. I don't know. Chip and Goose are invited to my birthday. And I'm just gonna do this one like this. There we go. I'm happy with that. There we go. So we've got our leaves done. All right. So we're going to pop this on the front of our card. Going to use a bit of... Fabio likes, or Chip, aka Fabio likes Goose. He's not sure about the barking, but he likes him. And they're working their way through it. It's early days and I'm really happy that Goose has got a new home. And I'm really happy that Fabio's got a friend. So we'll see how they go. Well, I haven't met Goose yet either. I've only seen pictures and videos, so he's taking it slow. I mean, Delphi wants to meet him, and I think she takes priority over us. So we'll see. Maybe next week. All right, so I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this. We need to actually stamp centimetre as well. Now this will be the front of this. As I said, this is the front of our card. All right. So we're putting lots of dimensionals on because you don't want it to be saggy. You want it to be... I'm making a bit of a mess of these dimensionals today. My hands aren't cooperating. Yeah. So anyway, no, my niece has a second dog. Not me. Oh, I've been looking at all the rescue Groodle sites and stuff, but I'm not allowed to have another dog just at this point in time. That was a bit silly. I made a mess of that. So somehow I managed to get a big knot in it. Can I get that undone? I'll have to hold my tongue the right way and then I can get that done. Ah, there we go, I think. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, did she put a photo? Oh, who's gorgeous? Chip is gorgeous, but Goose is a dark-haired version of Chip. He's beautiful. I'm going to put my bow up the top. Now I have a reason for that, because I am going to pop this here. Now, if you missed the beginning, I couldn't fit my thing through the die cutting machine because it's too wide. So this is like my envelope. Oh, I think this can go around one more time. And so I had to hand cut my circle. So if you're watching that on replay, normally I would have just used a punch. Okay. Oh, wow. I haven't seen that post, Megan. Megan said she opened to have a look at Chip Duff's adventures on Instagram, and the first post was one with Goose, and he is so beautiful. and yeah, so I am getting little updates, so I'm very happy about that. All right, so where I've tied this little knot, I'm just going to chuck a mini dimensional. Right. And oh, Megan, did you get the message invite I sent you? I hope so. Anyway, so I've just chucked a dimensional, and I want to put one of my leaves there. Right. And I put it right over the knot. So then when I tie my bow, I'm sort of tying it around the branch of my leaf. Okay, so this card has got two parts. So this is just the outside. So I will hurry a little bit. I'll be a bit more hurried in just a second. So I'm just going to twist that like that. So this one will go here. Now you might think, oh Chrissy, this is a pretty boring card, but it won't be, trust me. Have faith in the process, alright? So I'm going to pop this one up here. And I'm just pinning my loop of my bow so that it's over my dimensional. I'm going to pop that one there. And we need a third one because palm trees have an odd number. And we're going to slide that one underneath the other two. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Oh, his page is now called Chip and Goose. Ah. That's so exciting. Ah. Yes, I knew he was a rescue. So, yeah. Anyway, we didn't come on here to talk about dash hounds, but it is fun to see a little dash hounds and see that it gets rescued, and there we go. So I'm just going to put another dimensional underneath my leaf just to hold that in place there. And I'm going to put a dimensional on this one here. Oh, Megan, is there anything else to talk about? Yeah, well, because my craft room progress has been slow, so... although the shelves went up, and... Alright, so we need a sentiment on the front. And I did cut that one, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a sentiment that says Bon Voyage. Alright, because I don't have any Bon Voyage cards in my stash. Alright. And we want to make this really cute. I'm going to add in another colour. No. I'm not going to add in... Yeah, I'm going to add in some Secret Sea. Because I don't want to have black. The shells are going there. They're just not there yet. They're going on there. Trust me. It's a bit of a process, isn't it? And this is going to go across here. And it's also going to cover some of that mess that I made before. I'm going to stamp it not quite in the middle. And it just fits. Just fingers crossed. Does it fit? Yes, just fits. A little bit smudgy, but it'll be okay. And we're going to pop that there, like that. I wonder if it's better if I stamp it on the thicker one. I do like the thin one, but we'll just try the thicker one, just in case that it looks better. So we're going to go either that one or, sorry, either that one or that one. So you tell me which you prefer, thin or thick. Hi Christine, thanks for watching. Hopefully you can get the big one. Glenda likes the big one there. All right. We'll do that then. So I've got a few little shells. So this is just the outside of the card. It's not even the bit that you write on. So at one end of our sentiment piece, we're going to do double dimensionals because we want to make it pop up. And then on the other end, I'm having single. So this end has single, this end has double. And we're just going to pop that over here. And I want to make sure you can still see the pattern. All right, then we'll grab, I want to have this one here. Oops, it's crooked. All right, I want to have, I'm going to use starfish on the front. And I will hurry up and do the inside. I was late starting tonight, so thank you for those of you who are bearing with me. So we're just going to have 3 starfish. So got a big one here. Now we did cover up some of the gold paper, but not a lot. And we'll have a little one here. So they're going to overlap. So we're going to put this little one on. And I'm just covering the corner of the white. Get my... Then we'll get an even smaller starfish. Now, really when you cut these, it's a really good idea to put that adhesive paper on the back. The adhesive sheets. It does make it so much easier. I'm going to pop this one here. Oh, I want to say a big hello to my friends who are cruising in Tahiti at the moment. Some of my customers and my old boss are all on the same cruise ship. It's really quite funny. It's like, all their photos are from the same place. I want to put this starfish. So he's overlapping the other two, but covering up that bottom edge and the bottom corner. Does that make sense? Like that. There we go. So that is the front of our little pocket. And I think that that's enough for the front. Right, now we want to put something on the inside. So we have, again, another piece of scrap, a piece of white that we die cut. Then I've got a card base. Right. So I've designed this card so it will fit this pocket, so it'll fit a standard card inside, all right? Like that, okay? But you have to make sure that you, when you put it together, that it goes all the way in. And it's just catching on a piece. So I can cut a little bit off the top. All right, so I've got this piece here, got this piece here. Now we had some left of this. This is that gorgeous paper. And I think it'd be really nice to have some bubbles. Or we've got this other gorgeous piece of paper. Oh, we've got a couple. We've got this gorgeous piece. Or we've got this gorgeous piece. I think that I'm leaning towards the blue and the pink. What do you think? Do you think this one or the one with the silver? I'll give you a second to think. So we've got the blue and the pink, and I'll probably use that corner. Or we've got the dots. Like using up the dots would be pretty good too. You want the blue and the silver? Awesome, Megan. You're quick on the draw. Okay. And I'm thinking that corner because it's very beachy. Very, what's the word? Contrasting, and so I'm just going to cut that down. Now I want to cut a little bit off the top edge of this, about 1/4 inch. Just because of the way that isn't sit, like it's supposed to sit inside. It should fit. But for whatever reason, it's being facetious. So I'm thinking I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off. I'll make it, let's make it 5 5/8 of an inch. All right. Then we can cut the same amount. So cut the same amount off the side. And then you don't have to worry if it doesn't slide in properly, all right? So then that means this one has to be cut down a little bit as well. So we'll take that down to 3 3/4 inches. Actually, we'll take it down a bit more. Take it down to 3 1/2 inches. And then we'll take it down to about there. Alright, so we're just making sure that it's the same distance all the way around. So then we want some of that blue and pink paper. And I am wanting mainly the blue. Doesn't matter if there is a little bit of pink on it. So I want mainly the blue. Maybe we'll be daring and have both. How about we have both? So this is going to be a, what do we say that was? 3.5. So we're just going to make it 3 1/4 wide. And then we're going to cut it so that it is 5 1/8 long. I'm just going to cut it wrong, like for a second, because I want a bit more of the silver. So 5 1/8. So this allows me to do that. Alrighty. So then that's about right. Look at me doing the math. Ah. Okay. So now this is just going to sit on the front of this card. Then we've got this one here. We're going to put that across that way. And we're going to cut a little piece off. Okay. So I'll quickly glue that together so we don't lose it. Even the back of this is pretty. Now we want the bit in the envelope, the card that goes in the envelope, to be fairly flat. We're not going to have a lot of height in terms of dimensionals on it. Okay, and the reason for that is that we don't want it to get caught when it goes inside and out. Okay. No, I'm not going to waste this piece either. Alright, so here I'm going to cut it so that it cuts down around about halfway. So where is my paper trimmer? Somehow the paper trimmer is on the other side of the room. Goodness me. I cut it around about, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think around about there. It's a little bit more than halfway. Alright. Okay. So then we've still got, I get a bit of purple. And we're just going to drag the purple on and grab our blending brush and put a bit of purple there. Actually, we're going to use this one here. We're going to carry on the stuff from the front, but we're going to do it in purple. Okay. And we don't need as much colour on this. It does help when you put the stamp up the correct way. I'm just trying to line it up. Sorry, I'm off camera. going to move that about there. I want it going off the edges. So this is a labour intensive card, and you know that I like those. And I'm just going to use my purple. Just to give it a bit of colour, bring in the colour from the front. Take that one off. And we're going to pop this one over it as well. Round about there. Now, if you had a bit of scrap, you could just gently touch the scrap on there. Just take a little bit of it off. Don't want it to be too dark. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then we've got a last little leaf, which we're going to pop in the bottom. And we'll put some shells on it as well, I think. So this is the inside of the project is not going to be super fancy. We'll grab our little, what are those things, the little pink sandy bits. It'd be great if I had bought the balmy blue up, but I didn't. I'm just doing some pink. So this is the bubble bath. And we want to do a fair amount of that. And this is just our pink sand, and it's randomly everywhere. And I'm going to actually cover most of the front of my card with this random. Now this is, again, I said this was using the scraps left over from class because I haven't had a chance to put them away yet. I've been putting together flat packs. Who knew that I was so good at putting together flat packs? I had no clue. My first one on Sunday it took me an hour and 45 minutes. Then by Monday I was down to doing them in under an hour. And it was the same piece of furniture. So I was pretty happy with that. Now we want to put some shells on there as well. So again, we're going to bring in some of that colour that's on the front of our card. And so I've got this, well, we'll put our starfish on first. And we're going to have some blue starfish. Oops. Dimensional. Some blue starfish. And they can live near the edge of the water. So I'm just looking to where they might sit on the water's edge so you can still see. So they're going to go there. So I've got my 3 little starfish. Now I want to have 5 little shells. And we're going to do those in the pink as well, the bubble bar. Now because they're a more solid stamp, they're going to probably work a little better. Oh, actually I'm only going to do 3 shells. So I've got 2 on. And I want to put the 3rd one just down here. So this stamp has got 2 shells on it, so I've just have one off the paper. And when I've put them on, they're sort of a very flat triangle. All right. Okay, I'm glad you're still with me. And our leaf is just sort of, it's floating in the ocean. So actually I'm going to cover that shell and I'm going to put another one on. Going to put it around about there. Because I'm going to put that leaf over on the side. Okay, because you know, sometimes palm leaves get washed up on the beach. So this is that's the angle I'm taking with this. Okay. And I think that that's going to look okay. So I'll stick that down. Now we've got a bit of gold scrap left. We've got gold thread, so I'm going to put that on there as well. Now I've taken this all the way to the edge of the paper, or the fold of the paper. Move it up a bit. I want to sort of have it centered top to bottom. A little bit different. And then I'm going to pop this on. And again, we're going to glue that flat. But before we glue it, I've got this little piece of thread. So I'm going to grab my tear and tape. And just stick my thread on in that corner. Now, if you don't want your thread to slide out, put a knot in it, right? Fold it in half and do it in a knot. Now, I'm going to look awkward doing this because, as I said, my hands aren't working real well today. But we're doing it, we're getting there. All right, so we want to just put a knot in. And the knot just came out. Oh. And the reason we want to put a knot in it is because we want to have something that prevents it from coming out. So that little knot there, when you pull this way, it can't go anywhere, all right? I'm not taking the backing off my tear and tape. I'm just making sure it's not too wide. That was probably a bit much, but it's not stuck completely. So I can just trim it down a bit. And I'll just pop that excess. Yeah, fold that over there like that. So it doesn't go anywhere. Right, so I'm making sure that piece of gold is nice and secure. Right, just going to pop this in the corner like that. We're going to unravel these bits. Sometimes it's easier to unravel it when it's before you stick it down. Actually, most times it's easier to unravel it before you stick it down, but I'm showing you the hard way to do everything today. You just sort of pull it apart. Okay, so I'm going to pop my washed up leaf there. We're going to put heaps of glue on that. Right, now we don't want a naked inside of our card either. So, and that'll glue down. So that's the front of our insert for our card. I'll pop a bit more glue on the ends of it. Now I could have put a dimensional on it, but I wanted it to be flat. Remember how I said before I don't want it catching? And be generous with your glue. So that's that bit. We're going to shovel a few, like the terminology here, a couple of gold shells. Oops, that's way too much glue. I'm just going to shove a couple of gold random shells on here as well. There are a few. Oh, goodness me. We're nearly done, people. So can you see how it's coming together? It's gradually just it's a bit more of a labour of love card because it's a wing it card, and it's whatever I could find on my dining room table. I'm just going to pop that one up there. And to tie them together, I'm just going to put this other shell No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave... No, it does need one more shell. So we're going to pop this big shell down. Maybe up here on the silver. I don't put too much glue on. So just wiping a bit of it off. Up with the silver, we want the other piece. Okay, so that sort of ties it together. And on the inside, I'm not going to do anything too fantastic. All I'm going to do is take my little scrap that I have of this one. Now we know that that is about 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut it to 1.5 inches. And I'm going to cut it on the diagonal. So I've squared it. I cut it on the diagonal. Now because the sentiment of the card is already on the front, I don't think we need another sentiment. And I had die cut that blue because I thought we might use it, but I don't want to now. I think that this is just fine. We're just going to pop these little scraps on the inside in the corners like that. Now, just a reminder that the new product of the month goes live on the 1st of the month. So I think that's, is that Friday, Thursday? What's the date today? Today's the 28th. It must be, yeah. Anyway, in the next few days, on the 1st of May, it goes live. And then next week, the new catalogue goes live for everyone. So if you got yours in the mail, just let me know. If you got one in the mail from me. And hopefully you'll find lots of things. Now, if you're part of my team and you are in pending, you have a couple of days to put in your order. And I hope that you continue to stay, but I do understand that you can't always stay. And you're always welcome to come to things even if you're not in my team. So, alright, so this one here slots into our little card. And then we can just pull that out. So this is a little card that we made. So you could put another message inside if you wanted to. I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful DSP. And thank you, Megan, for sharing this beautiful DSP. I just think it's a lovely, lovely DSP. Now, see, it fits down nicely in there. You could put some bling on it. Do we have any bling up here? Oh, I did bring some bling to the front. You don't have to, but what have we got? Just looking in my bling box. I think that we could use... Because I had to sort through my bling and I've got very little left. It's very... Because a lot of it's retired, so... I'm thinking we could just use some basic rhinestones. They are always good value. And they pick up the silver. And I do think it does need a little bit of bling. No bling? No, of course we're having bling, Jodie. I was just messing with you. Of course we're having bling. So we're just using 3 pieces of bling. And I'm going to use one in the corner there. Actually, I'll use that big one over here. I'm going to use 2 little ones. Now don't ask me, Megan, where my Take My Pick tool is, because I absolutely cannot tell you. I would have no clue. I would usually use my Take My Pick tool for this, but because I have no clue, we're using the point of the scissors, and sometimes that works okay. I've got my 3 little pieces of bling there, and I do think that it needs another 2 pieces, because we've got that bit of white up here. So I'll put one there and another one just there, sort of in a line. There we go. So that is our finished card. And you can splatter it with Wink of Stella. So thank you so much for bearing with me for an hour and 45 minutes. Well, it wasn't quite that long because I was probably about 10-15 minutes late. But still, it's an hour and a half. And thank you for enjoying my card. And I hope that you like it. And let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you again for watching. I'll see some of you on Friday for our craft and chat, which is where we all get together and bring our own projects and finish them. And yeah, and we all bring a plate of food to share, so that's a lot of fun. Some of you I will see on Saturday morning for mystery stamping. The clue is about to go out Thursday. So mystery stamping is Saturday morning from 10 a.m. because it's too early to get up any earlier than that. I don't know, my whole body clock is out at the moment, so instead of my 5 a.m. starts, I'm not getting up to quite late. Anyway, so this is our fourth card in our series of Rolling Waves stamps, cards. So tell me which one you like the best so far. I'm thinking I like this one, which was last week's, but this one I quite like. But thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy creating and bye for now.